me all day.
Hello there. Is this the one and only
Tyler Smith? How you doing?
This is Tyler Smith. This is Norman Odom, I take it, eh?
Well, you sound like you're from Texas.
Not even close. I'm from Vancouver Island, way north.
Well, I've never been up there. I've been to Ontario, Canada. Did several shows up there in November 1979.
So it's been a while since you've been up here.
Band.
Oh, man. Well, I honestly, I cannot thank you enough for being here with me today. I am thoroughly looking forward to this. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Well, it's only 66 degrees here now.
I mean, it's only 2 here.
Two?
Celsius, though, not Fahrenheit.
Too much.
Right.
Now, we got gas up to 561.
Yeah, I think you guys are by the gallon. We're by the liter, and it's about $1.50, $1.60 around there a liter. So.
Well, the United States and Myanmar are the only countries in the world that are still on the old British system.
Oh, yes.
The rest of the world is on the metric system.
It's the way the world is going, eh?
Well, I don't know anything about metrics because I'm not a scientist, not a chemist or a chemical engineer. All the scientists work, even astronomers work on the metric system. The rest of the general public, we're still on the British system. President Gerald Ford spent $1 billion trying to get the country to switch over to the metric system like you people have in Canada. It didn't work out, so the government scrapped that plan after spending $1 billion.
You know what? You guys seem to be doing all right still, eh? One of the strongest nations going. But all right, I want to give you a little bit of an introduction here, and then get right into it because I don't want to waste your time over there, sir.
Well, that's okay.
All right, here we are.
That's a pizza
podcast. Today on the Punks on Pizza podcast, I am absolutely overjoyed to bring to you an absolute legend. It's in the title. Some would call him a pioneer of outsider music, of psychobilly. Some would call him Norman Odom. I'm going to call him the Legendary Stardust Cowboy. Thank you again for being here, sir. Thank you very much.
Is this being broadcast live?
Nope, not being cast live. It'll be edited and fixed up and audio leveled and all that fun stuff before it hits the masses.
How many miles are we apart?
California. I'm up Vancouver Island, so I'm just over the border. What is that, 4,000? I'm thinking kilometers, not miles now.
Well, I don't have a yardstick to measure it.
Fair enough. You'd be going a while. But, alright, I like to go back to the beginning and kind of work our way out to where we are present day. I was wondering if you could tell me about meeting T-Bone Burnett.
That's a long story. All my stories are long.
You know what? I was told about this. I am prepared.
Oh, really?
Really? They who got us in touch had said that you are a storyteller, you've got some good stories, and once you get going, it's hard to stop.
You dadgum tootin'. That's Texas lingo.
Yeah, I've heard it. I saw Toy Story.
You saw Toy Story?
That's as far as my Texas lingo goes.
Tommy Hanks. I saw Tom Hanks in person at the Academy Awards, and in March of 1989. You know it?
89, eh?
I was there.
That would have been...
He came...
Sorry, go ahead.
I said no. Pardon?
That would have been around the time of Big, I suppose, then, eh? Shortly after that?
Well, I was standing in the stands where the general public greets all the stars just before they go inside the building where they have the Academy Awards. Tom Hanks came out. He was very friendly, waving to everybody, talking to people up stands that were shouting at him questions,
Oh, yeah.
The last person that came out was actress Sybil Shepherd.
Oh, yeah, Sybil Shepherd.
Yes. So I got to see Tom Selleck come through and Tom Cruise come through, as well as what's that guy that he made a movie in Philadelphia about a boxer.
Mickey Rourke.
No, Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, Rocky.
When I was working at the Dunes Hotel on Graveyard, I said that Sylvester Stallone came into the Dunes Hotel to the gift shop, and man, the crowds were gathered around him, down there, following him around all over. That was back in the early 80s. Never, he was a big shot in the movies.
Yeah, that is going back.
Well, T-Bone Burnett was not a big shot then.
Nope.
I stayed at a hotel, a motel there on the west end of Fort Worth. I always call it Fort Worth because they got a good Walmart store in Fort Worth. Texas talk. You probably can pick up my Texas accent.
I have heard it.
Well, not too many people talk like LBJ. You know who that was?
LBJ, that was the old president, yes, sir.
Well, they had a radio station on the radio station in Austin called KLBJ. So I told my landlord about it, and she said, does that stand for Kill Lyndon Baines Johnson? I said, no. That's just call letters of the station.
Yeah, because that was the old...
People were that.
Yep.
So there was some Hoover vacuum cleaner salesman in this venue right down the Interstate 20 about 3 miles. They went down. I was entertaining them there with my guitar, whooping it up, And truck driver threatened to throw me in the swimming pool because he didn't like my music, and we was going back and forth. But there's a guy named Mr. Ferguson who owned one of our merchandising cleaners up in Richland Hills, and he really liked me and trying to get those guys that truck driver to lay off, and he was going to box him with his fists, and he was mean as a kitty cat, as a tomcat, tomcat on a hot tin roof, So this Hoover vacuum cleaner salesman went down to the studio that T-Bone Burnett owned at the time, and told him about me, wanted to know if he wanted to record me. So the Monday night I was there, I did the same thing. And Tuesday morning they came out to my room, knocking on my door. I answered the door, and they said, would you like to record a record? I said, sure do. Well, just follow us. So I followed the Hoover vacuum cleaner salesman about 3 miles up the Interstate 20, to T-Bone Burnett's studio, Sound City Studio, which he had owned for about 2 years. And he came outside, brought his young kid outside, and he never played drums before. I said, you got to really beat those drums on the break. He said, okay, that you can hear on the Mercury record.
Yep.
And so I just whooped it up outside. I screamed as loud as I could. I just tore the place apart. Almost tore the roof off the rafters, you know it? Well, the manager came down from the radio station, KXOL. That's where George Carlin got his start in show business in the 60s as a DJ. You know that?
I knew he was a DJ. I didn't know which station. That was like before Hippy Dippy Weatherman, around that time and stuff, right?
Yep. Yeah, he was a 5-hour DJ there, Monday through Friday nights, and before he went to Hollywood and got on Tonight's Show with Johnny Carson, and the rest of history with him. And then, so they have so he ripped out there, and the manager of KXOL radio station, an outstanding radio station, played top 40, wanted to know what all the noise was going on. And someone told him, and he said, I want that tape, a tape of that year recording. So he allowed Red Rocket that evening, that's his DJ name, Red Rocket, to put it on the air with a tape like it is, like we recorded it. It wasn't even mastered up or cleaned up or anything, just a raw tape. So I got on the radio station that night and would play that thing over and over and over between other songs, and I became the first person to beat out requests for the Beatles big time. They had a hit song out called Hey Jude at that time. Remember?
I have heard it. Yep.
Oh, you're not that old.
32.
You're 32?
32.
You're 32? Good for you. Now then, well, I'm 78. I remember all that stuff, just as it happened last week. And because just across the way there, away from the parking lot, is a Trinity River, the west branch of the Trinity River that runs down from North Texas. And that's where it's located. So we played that and on there. We had the KXOL had an exclusive first week. KMJJ, which is down Interstate 20 a few miles west, is right next to Arlington Heights High School. Well, there's a friend of mine up there in Dallas, Fort Worth. He went to school with Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh, yeah.
And so I went there, and let's see, I backtracked there, and they wanted to play Paralyzed, but they couldn't until after the first week, after KXOL started playing it. They played it. Well, they got a copy of it, played it for a long time over there. And Marky Baby was the main DJ there. You ever heard of Marky Baby?
I have not. Nope.
Well, found out that his wife didn't like me, but he was a big fan of mine. She never even met me. Oh,
yeah, no, when it comes... when it comes to, like, big radio personalities, Dr. Demeno, Howard Stern, Soupy Sales, I
don't want to hear the name Howard Stern. I'll be darned if it's Howard Stern. I can't stomach him.
No.
And the people that have XM radios paying big money for it, they're paying part of his $100 million a year salary. He's a drawback to humanity. I don't want to get him off the air fast. Now the other one.
But like Dr. Demento, you and him got on well, right?
Oh yeah, Dr. Demento played all my records. Dr. Demento came out with best of Dr. Demento record album on I think it's the Smothers Brothers record label.
Oh yeah, because I think the first time I heard your music, I bought the Rhino Brothers Worst Records in the World compilation or whatever. And you're on there with Hassel Adkins, Wildman Fisher,
Yeah, my song is the first one on. The World's Worst Records. Dr. Demento, he loves all those stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff. I don't know. He's still living, but I don't know if he's broadcasting now or not. But I've been on his show many times, 3 times.
I don't think he's on radio anymore, but he's on he has a podcast or internet show where he still does the same thing. He takes submissions, he puts on new songs, he plays old songs.
Yeah, I've been to his house one time in Sherman Oaks, California, met his wife, and his house is not big enough to put all those record albums. He had Weird Al Yankovic gold record that was presented to him because he promoted that and became a million seller. 500,000 copies. That was a million seller because of the price tag on it. He had that posted right there in the front door when you walked in. All kinds of good stuff. He was a good man. Good man from Joe Biden country, Pennsylvania.
And he did a lot for music and musicians. A lot of music you would have never heard about at all, especially in those days, if it wasn't for Dr. Demento. Absolutely.
But I never found out his real name.
You know what? I don't think he's a doctor either.
No, that was just a pseudonym.
Now you mentioned Mercury Records putting that out. I wanted to ask you, how did Mercury get in contact with you? Because originally Paralyzed was put out through Psycho Suave, which was almost like your and T-Bone Burnett's own record label, right?
I came up before I met T-Bone Burnett. I came up back in Lubbock, Texas. I came up with Psycho Suave Records. And man, everybody loved that title for a record company. Psycho Suave. It's actually, but a suave,
Mm-hmm.
French. I just say suave when it looks, Psycho Suave. Well, Major Bill Smith was out of town. He had nothing to do with it. So when he got back into town, there was a girl came down from Azle, Texas, about 20 or 30 miles north of Fort Worth, requesting that record. And there was a bunch of African Americans came over from the African American neighborhood there on the east side of Fort Worth, and they requested several copies of it, what have you. Well, Major Bill Smith paid about $2,000 for a pressing plant down in Houston before they can get it to the stores and get it out to sell to the public, and before Mercury Records to put it in. He presented it to major A&R men, the Capitol Records, several major record companies, and Mercury. Mercury was the only Johnny Sipple, S-I-P-P-L-E. He's no longer around. All these people have died. Cause I just barely turned 21 when I did that recording. Everybody's still around except for T-Bone Burnett, because I'm only 4 months older than him. He'll be the same age as me and come January. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
J. Henry Burnett. The letter J period, Henry Burnett is his real name.
Oh.
But I don't know how he got T-Bone. I know he heard of T-Bone Walker.
Yeah, he was an old blues fan too, right? That was a big one.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's see. Let's see if I can just pillow up under my back. Striking with this pillow. He brought me up. And then I got the pillow, very big foam pillow. And Major Bill got him signed up to send me they sent him a 5-page contract for me to sign. We went over it together, and we went over it together, and we said that Major Bill Smith would own all my music, and would own me, and all my music, and I would get paid 48 cents for every album sold, and 5 cents for every single sold. There was a lady there. There was a young lady there. She knew about contracts. She said, "Well, welcome to the music world, Elvis Presley," because Elvis Presley got paid big from his record sales, like that. But the things didn't work out. Mercury Records was trying to get him in the Jackie Gleason show, the Smithers Brothers show, and about 20 major shows around the United States. They're trying all of them. And Major Bill Smith, he called up to all these places, said, "I discovered him, he's mine." Like blowhard Major Bill Smith. And he was just a major in the Air Force for one day. But he's got that on his desk. "Major Bill Smith, welcome to my office." And so anyway, I saw, and then back in April of '69, I managed to raise the window at nighttime and crawl in with my cowboy boots on, and I left my boot prints on the carpet, and I was going through his file cabinet, and I came across a letter from Mercury Records. "Okay," it said, "Okay, Major Bill Smith, we are disassociating you with the Legendary Stardust Cowboy as of this month, and because you wouldn't keep your mouth shut, and you interviewed interrupted our program. We had laid out for him because we know what we were doing successfully, and you just blew it for him." And so I put the letter back in the drawer. I should have taken it with me and made several copies to show people. I saw the copy, the 30 paragraph, 2-sheet paragraph of the contract that was signed for me to be on Laugh-In. Said if the President of the United States would come on for a primetime session and that would take Laugh-In off the show, they wouldn't have me on. At the tower, at the antenna of the tower for the broadcasting up, that fell down. By any act of God, we wouldn't broadcast it, but I was supposed to get paid $500 for being on there 15 minutes. But the $500, I found out later, went straight to Chester Wayne Kendall on the east side of Fort Worth, and he pocketed all the money. I never saw one dime from it.
Unfortunately, that's a tale as old as time, eh?
What?
I said, unfortunately, that's a tale as old as time. Musicians not getting their buck for what they're doing, and some guy with a pen getting it.
Well, T-Bone Burnett was the only one that did me right. He got me signed up with the Fort Worth music guild the union company that represents musicians. He got me signed up with them, And he also got me signed up with Broadcast Music Incorporated. I didn't get it was a few years before I got my first royalty check from BMI was from England. It was about $14. And I took the $14, went to the store and bought myself a necktie. And it kept on getting bigger and bigger every year. There was a guy named Frank Novicki up here in San Jose. He said, your number one hit, your signature hit's going to be Paralyzed. Little did he know, or little did I know, that something bigger was coming down the turnpike. And that was David Bowie.
You know what?
We're probably going to get to that one later on.
That was... Honestly, that's my next question here after talking about Mercury and you getting picked up by Mercury is Mercury picked up another artist and turned them on to your music, and that artist was David Bowie. And I had read that you had known for a long while that Bowie was actually a fan of your music.
Yeah, but me and my manager Jim Yanaway from Fort Worth, Texas, he didn't know about it. And I said, well, it sounds like a good tale. Just go ahead and print it up in People magazine. It was reviewed in People magazine, and I watched it. 8 years. You know what?
No, what story?
What stories? I'm watching a preview of the Oscars for the last 98 years on ABC right now. That the 100th year of the Oscars will be broadcast not on TV but on iTunes.
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It's all going the way of computers.
iTunes I guess it costs too much money for advertisers now.
That's a big one, yeah. That is a big one for sure. But back...
I wish the cotton picking Super Bowl would go to iTunes.
Yeah, really, eh?
Get rid of that piece of crap.
Hey, I don't know why you have never played the halftime show, you know? You're a red-blooded American, you should be up there.
More so than Bad Bunny?
More so than Bad Bunny, yes. Absolutely.
Bad Bunny ain't so funny because it has no money.
Hey, okay, I'm back on the topic of Bowie here. When did you find out about him being a fan of your music?
Well, that was a long time. That was back in the early 1980s, whenever I was working at the Dunes Hotel in Las Vegas. Now, the Dunes Hotel doesn't exist anymore. It was there about 30 years. That was known as the Queen of the Strip. It was imploded, and they built the Bellagio Hotel in its place. Just after I moved from there. I have yet to go back to see it. My favorite city around the world. Well, besides Sydney, Australia, and Paris, France. Because I'm part French. My mother's side got my sister and I have a lot of French blood in us. And so anyway, David Bowie. You know he got his name from Jim Bowie, the Alamo?
I did not know that.
I read in Kate Lynch's book that she did the research, and I met Kate Lynch and her husband, me and Jim Yanaway, my manager and producer back then, near Washington Park in New York City is where they were living. Now she wrote the book, and that's mentioned in there. Yeah. David, I can't remember David's last name offhand, but he came up with that stage name long before it became world-renowned like T-Bone Burnett. Now then, oh, by the way, I voted for Trump.
You know what? I'm Canadian. I have no horse in that race.
Well, of course. You got to go with the flow. Now, David Bowie. Oh, they gave when he signed on with Mercury Records to put out some songs. The man in charge of publicity, David Bowie a 45 single of Paralyzed, and the flip side was Who's Knocking on My Door, which I wrote both of those songs. I didn't get a chance to record them because Major Bill Smith recorded them on his music label. Then I went on a promo tour back east to Cleveland, Baltimore, and places. I met DJs everywhere said that anytime that we get a record in the mail to promote that has Major Bill Smith's name on it or his music company on it, we just toss it into the trash and forget about it. So that went against me. Because the deal that for me to get on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson was for me to sell 100,000 copies of the single, and I'd be on my way. They signed me up with an agent, a big, well-to-do, a good agent in Dallas. They got offices all over the world, Beverly Hills, London, and other places. They booked Barbara. I want to say Barbara Stanwyck, but that's Barbara Streisand.
Oh yeah.
That's where they booked. Besides me, I had two tiers. One that's unknown, one that's big time, well known, and that would have been great. Now then, I was booked for but they actually got me booked on the Ed Sullivan Show for December 1968. But here was another monkey wrench that's thrown in the plans. This is the Musicians Union
strike
went on strike.
Yep.
From December through March in 1969. And since I played the guitar, the bugle, the buffalo horn, the kazoo, and what have you,
yep,
I could not go on the Ed Sullivan Show. Now, if they didn't have a musician strike, I would have been on the Ed Sullivan Show, and the contract read that I was to get paid $2,000 for being on his show, and I couldn't perform any other place around the world for less than $2,000. That's how he made unknown entertainers into big entertainers, like the guy Ronnie Dangerfield,
yep,
Barbara Streisand, all the others. You know it?
Oh yeah. I'm familiar with Ed Sullivan because I'm a big Doors fan, so I know that story inside and out.
Oh, you know about that. Well,
but I didn't know you were signed up for the Ed Sullivan Show. I had read that you were signed up to do lots of TV appearances, but then that musicians' strike against TV or whatever the circumstance was canceled all that.
That's so I'm telling you all the inside scoop that TMZ never got. TMZ's not on top of all things. I don't think TMZ existed back then, you know it?
No, not even close, yeah.
Yeah, so let me get down here because my back is out of whack. I gotta get down here.
All right, before getting on to the...
I got my coat on.
Sorry.
I got my coat on because it's been chilly down here today. It's 66 degrees.
You were saying, yeah. Sunny California is not all it's cracked up to be, eh?
Well, that ocean comes up through the Gulf of Alaska, comes down by Canada, down by the U.S. It doesn't get warm until you get down to L.A. and San Diego.
Mm.
You know, we get closer to the equator. when that water warms up again.
Yeah.
You got cold water fish up there like sharks. Sharks abounding.
Oh, I know all about that. Living on Vancouver Island, I've got.
Sharks up there too?
Oh, in out in the ocean. Yeah, it's all on the Pacific. So yeah.
You don't live. I know that's separate from the mainland. Is there a strait? Is that straight between the mainland and the island?
No bridge or anything, just a ferry. But I mean, it's an easy trek. You've never been out this way, eh?
Well, I've been up to. Me and my drummer Joey Myers has been up to Seattle. Went up to Seattle one time, laid over 3 hours to take Alaskan Airlines all the way across to Reykjavik Island. And we missed our flight, a connecting flight there from Reykjavik Island to Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam, one of the largest airports in the world, Schiphol. So we had to sit there for several hours getting another flight, but that flight took us up to Copenhagen, Denmark. We had to lay over there for about an hour or two, and then take a flight down to Schiphol Airport, and we disembarked from Schiphol Airport with our luggage. And there's a couple of guys up there that was looking for us, and they had seen pictures of us. You know, they found us up there about 11 p.m. their time, and we took an American Dodge Ram pickup truck, big one, and all the way up to Nijmegen, Holland. Nijmegen, Holland is right across the Rhine River from Dusseldorf, Germany.
Oh, yeah.
World War II was fought. Had an uncle that went up there in World War II and fought the Nazis. He said they were marching to get the Nazis to back up, and they were shooting their rifles, and American soldiers were falling by his wayside all the way up there. And he got after they surrendered, he got a chance to go into Hitler's underground bunker, and you know that's what it. But he made all four of my mother's brothers made it back from World War II.
That's good, man. That's awesome.
That's about it, but not so with Vietnam.
Yeah.
I was a Dodge drafter, drafting the Dodge.
Hey, and
trying to get out of going to Vietnam.
You know what? We're thankful for it.
I never got a chance to be on life then if I went to Vietnam. You know what?
That is true.
And wait in that jungle rot. All the tigers were gone out. They ran out of the jungle out there with all the bullets flying everywhere, and your boots would rot in that jungle rot up there, your army boot. But I got a friend that went up there two 1-year trips to Vietnam. Both times came back without a scratch.
Oh well, hey, you know what? It sounds like a horrible situation, but I guess some were luckier than others, that's for sure.
Well, I got a cousin that came back, and then he was discharged from the Army as a major. He was way up the ranks, and he died at age 45 because of Agent Orange.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
The DOD of the United States were using our soldiers as a test, Agent Orange. That wasn't the perfect thing to do,
No, Vietnam was brutal.
LBJ kept that war going because he wanted to satisfy the manufacturers of missiles and arms and rifles and what have you. They paid him a bunch of money. He went to Washington, broke, cold stone broke, and he came out at 35 years later, $20 million in the LBJ Foundation. And the president of the United States back then didn't make that kind of money.
Yeah.
Like they make nowadays, $400,000 a month. And Kennedy and Trump, they get that $400,000 paycheck they get everywhere to their favorite charities. You know that?
I didn't know that, but I assume it's rigged. You know?
Well, they got enough money themselves. You know, he made a lot of money in real estate.
Absolutely.
But, Trump did, but he had to fight the mafia, get them off their hands, all the way up to the road of success, and where he became very prominent. So David Bowie, getting back to David Bowie, he took that record back to England with him. Gemini, I took a trip on a Gemini spaceship. There's also a record. Now, T-Bone and Ed and I went to Delta Recording Studios down the street from his Sound City Studios the next week after we did the recording up there, lay the tracks, bass tracks, and I played the bugle, and he played the xylophone on some of it himself before Mercury put it out. And then Frank Henderson was the recording engineer for T-Bone Manette, and Frank Henderson said that he used to work at a recording studio in Hollywood with Sonny and Cher did recording. He helped get them record records together, and so he said when Elvis recorded songs, they had his bodyguards surrounding the recording studio, and there was nobody coming up there to beat him with. He had more bodyguards than the president has Secret Service. And a friend of mine worked at the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, which covers 18,500 acres, the world's largest airport between Dallas and Fort Worth. And he saw, after midnight, Elvis Presley come by wearing a royal blue costume with a royal blue cape, and he had bodyguards all around him. It was a sight to behold. You know it? Now, David Bowie, he listened to that record, and he shook his head. He said, this guy, the legendary Stardust Cowboy, has got to be a genius to do this. And we got on the internet, we found where he did a show over in Holland, some town over there. He played the piano and talked about the legendary Stardust Cowboy. He said he liked that bugle part that I played during the break. The two stanzas start to begin with in the break, and two stanzas afterwards. You know it?
I have seen that clip. I've seen that clip of him talking about you behind the piano.
Oh, you have?
Yep, I most definitely have, yeah.
Well, I got movie director Jeff. We worked a long time on him interviewing me and trying to impersonate JFK in that part way we're going to the moon. Not because it's easy, because it's hard. JFK's accent down. We tried that several times. Because it's hard. You remember that speech he gave?
That one, it might have been before my time. You know, I didn't really... You
were born. You were born after the landing on the moon?
Oh, way after. I was born 94, yeah.
1994?
Yeah. By the time, when I clicked into American politics, it was, I did not inhale. That was kind of when I clicked in.
Oh, we had the cotton picking bushes in there, which I didn't like you. Didn't like either one because they're connected with big oil. Oil, you know, want to run up the price of oil so they can make more money. George Herbert Walker Bush, you're the first one that's elected president. I voted for Jimmy Carter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I voted for Jimmy Carter. And I switched from Democrat to Republican back and forth. I'm on a straight line, dyed in the wool of either party. You know what?
You know what? I think that's fair. Look at the issues, not the stance. I think that's fair.
And I joke around on my shows that I'm running on the cowboy ticket for president of the United States. If I'm elected, I'm going to make sure that all cowboys in the bunkhouses and all ranches around the United States will be unionized so they can have hot tubs in the bunkhouse. That's just funny, me, because Pat, the Smothers Brothers had a guy named Pat. I can't remember his last name. He ran for president. He had a solemn look on his face, and it's not Pat Benatar, the singer.
No.
It's Pat Paulson. Remember him?
I don't from Smothers, but I remember Ruth Buzzy, you, and Wildman Fisher. That's about all I know from the Smothers Brothers.
I never met Wildman Fisher. He's still around?
No, he died, unfortunately, early 2010s, somewhere around there.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
No,
About how old he was.
But I got two more questions about Bowie, and then I want to get on to television and film with you. I know you talked about some film stuff there, but the last two questions about David Bowie are: 2007, he flew you out to play a festival in New York.
Oh, Highline Ballroom.
Yes, that was it. I was wondering.
I opened up for Daniel Johnston.
Yeah, we're gonna get to him a bit later too. Okay, tell me about that show.
He died several years ago.
Yep.
At age 59.
Yeah,
You know it?
he died young, unfortunately. Yeah.
Age 59. Yeah, because I think he was a diabetic.
Yeah, he had lots of health problems. Yeah. So how?
He didn't take care of himself.
No, not at all. How was your set at that festival, and then how was Daniel's? I would love to hear about that.
Well, I didn't watch Daniel Johnston because I'm not a fan of that cotton picker. And neither is anyone in my band liked it. But David Bowie came in to see the show. He was 15 minutes late, trying to get in there. Well, on the back end, far back in, probably had to use binoculars to see me up close as so far back. Because he opened up the Highline Ballroom the week before. It had been open up for years and years and years, closed down for a period of time for remodeling, and we were there the first time it was remodeled. After it was remodeled and what have you. So we had a good time there. It was great. We almost didn't make it because there was a big thunderstorm with a tornado that came through New York City up there before we made it up there in the cab. Because that was in May, tornado season.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we threw in my paper plates, autographed paper plates to the audience. Frank Sinatra never did that.
he did not.
He forgot paper plates, but I did a show on Greenville Avenue in Dallas during some other 70s or something like that, and I played with the Leroy Brothers. Leroy Brothers, that means the king in French. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
L-E-I-R-O-Y, something like that, how you spell it. Leroy Brothers. And then later on, another guy broke away from the band. I can't remember his name. He broke from a band called the Tailgaters. Well, the Rowan Brothers helped me I did 13 songs in 1 hour for my Rocket to Stardom album. Then Jim Yenaway sent me a blank tape. He was sending me the music to sing, to record. Let's see. I don't have the album with me. It's down in my basket. I'd have to dig through and find out what it is. Been so long since I read the album. Came out five delicious colors: blue, gold, clear, black, and what they say is Dolly Parton hot pink.
And
those the Rocket to Stardom album.
That was what, 84?
Yeah, May 1984.
Yep.
And he's got that JFK speech I was quoting part of on the backside, on the backside of the inside sleeve. And he put down on the list on the other side. He flipped the sleeve over, put down my favorite gun, Ruger, favorite city, Las Vegas, favorite hotel, Caesar's Palace, favorite salad, which was ambrosia salad, a long list of stuff. Favorite tree, palm tree, favorite singer, Frank Sinatra, and on it goes. I saw Frank Sinatra perform at the downtown Dallas Veterans Hall that seated 10,000 people. Every seat was packed. Everybody, including myself, was really dressed up nice. Woody Herman Orchestra played music for about an hour before Frank Sinatra came out with his bodyguards surrounding him. See, he's a runt because all Italians are usually runts, you know it? Short, under 5 feet tall, you know it? And his wife, Barbara, was twice his size in tallness, you know it? Frank Sinatra did a 1-hour show, then he got off the stage, and they walked him out the side door, got in his limousine, they drove him up to the Dallas Love Field Airport, and he boarded his private plane and flew back to Palm Springs. Just like that.
What year would that have been that you saw Frank Sinatra, do you figure?
Oh, that was sometime. Sometime during the 70s.
Okay.
Dallas on 1971, 1977. Probably 1975 for Frank Sinatra. And I never got a chance to see Elvis. He never came to town. All the tickets were sold out and worn out before they even made the broadcast on the airwaves that he was coming to town. Fort Worth 1 year, Dallas the next year. He would alternate Fort Worth, Dallas, you know, like the Dixie Chicks.
Yeah.
You know the Dixie Chicks, don't you?
I do remember them. Yep, that's more my childhood. Yep. Yep.
Now the singer for the Dixie Chicks is from Lubbock, and she went to Lubbock High School, where Buddy Holly and singer Mike Davis went to high school. Did you know that?
You know, I didn't know that they all went to Lubbock, but I think I did read that you're not a fan of playing your hometown, right? You're not a fan of playing Lubbock? Is that something I read? Is that correct?
Well, I don't get a chance to get back there. It's been 53 years since I set foot in the town, and I can't get back there. Maybe if I hitchhiked, I would probably make it. Hitchhiked in the summer, but that wouldn't do me any good. Not in my. It's more dangerous to hitchhike now than it was during the 60s when I hitchhiked, rode freight trains up to Oklahoma and California, places around in between, so now I went to school with Joe Healy and the Flatlanders.
Oh yeah, Joe Healy. I do. That rings a bell. Yeah.
Oh boy, he's got a Texas accent that won't quit, and so does his wife. Kind of like a lady Lady Bird Johnson.
Nice.
Lady Bird Johnson outlived LBJ by 30 years. You know what?
I'm unfamiliar.
She was ahead of her. She was ahead of her time when it came to being an eco-friendly freak. You know what?
Okay. Yeah.
So that was about it. Now, what else were we going to cover?
All right. Now, this is the last question about Bowie. When was the last time you yourself spoke with Bowie?
I only spoke to him one time. That was on a Wednesday night in August 2002, after the album came out. Busta Rhymes put all this show together. He was a rapper.
Yep.
Busta Rhymes. And David Bowie was the second show on the bill. He did a 90-minute show. I told Joey Myers he's going to do a 90-minute show. He said, "How do you know?" That was because I've been to a lot of shows in Las Vegas, and they're all 90 minutes long. Tom Jones, Engelbert Humperdinck, I saw Mac Davis. I saw a lot of them there in Las Vegas. All shows are 90 minutes. They perform 2 shows a night, a dinner show, then a cocktail show at midnight for 2 solid weeks. Liberace became the first person who was the biggest showman on the Las Vegas Strip at the Riviera. Is paid $50,000 a week, which is popcorn pennies today compared with Taylor Swift. You know it?
Well, yeah, but back then, I hear you. Yeah, that's major.
And Dolly Parton put up there. Now they got this cotton. Since I left there, they got this cotton picking residency, which I wouldn't give you 2 flips and a flop for. You understand what I'm talking about? Residency, 6 months.
Oh.
Gosh. Oh, Dean Martin. I think Dean Martin got that started because he played there so long during the latter half of his life. He played to more than 3 million people that bought tickets. Oh, you couldn't buy a ticket. You couldn't get in to see an Elvis show. You know what a comp is, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I shoot a lot of shows, so
the maitre d' was told not to comp anybody to an Elvis Presley show at the Las Vegas Hilton Hotel. Everybody had to pay their way in.
Mm-hmm.
Is what his manager. What was his manager?
The Colonel.
Oh, the Colonel. Not talking about corn kernel, but not Indian corn kernel or anything like the Colonel. And because he wanted to get his part, make sure Elvis got his part.
Mm-hmm.
Because he stayed up in the penthouse suite, way up there on the 35th floor, came down a secret elevator, guards surrounding him backstage, and he popped up on stage. The band started playing. Big brass band started playing. Man, that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen on the TV screen when I saw that documentary. You know it? And wow, that really got you. And he was really cooking up there. His shows absolutely sizzle. You know it? And so anyway, so what I was going to say about Frank Henderson being T-Bone Burnett's recording engineer, he said, now if my record Paralyzed goes over big time, like you think it is, they would easily sell 2 million copies. And if it does that, then Elvis Presley will probably come and see my show. And you can put that on the odometer of your, what do you call that podcast?
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Get the word odometer for a podcast. I just say the first thing that comes to my mind. That's why George Carlin likes me. I met him too. Golly. He was manager just laughed when I told him I'd come out on stage I blew them blanks from a 22 Bud Line Special. This Bud Line Special is 12 inches long, and blowing my bugle at the same time. My yellow chaps on. Oh, they just laughed and laughed and laughed. They almost rolled on the floor. They laughed so hard. And some people, some entertainers, it's not easy to make the audience laugh. But boy, they just get a big kick out of my show. They're not making fun of me. They just laughing because of the show I do. And they say, well, it's not my accountant says he laughs. Him and his wife just laughed their heads off when I go see my accountant who does my taxes every year. He said, it's not what you say that's funny. It's how you say it that's funny. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I know you said George Carlin. I'm a big Norm Macdonald fan, Canadian comedian, and very much so. Delivery, timing.
Well, I don't know much about him. I dropped my phone. Phone. I gotta wash that and flatten my chest out.
All right. You know what? We were talking about Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In and how the strike had messed up some of your television appearances. I want to talk to you about films for a second, because I was reading there's an unreleased documentary of yours from the 80s called Cotton Pick and Smash, the story of Legendary Stardust Cowboy. Am I correct?
Oh, that's Tony Philpott in Indianapolis, Indiana. You don't have to call him, but he's hard to reach. He's got this. He's an independent contractor, and he makes deliveries all day long to different businesses. He's hard to reach from sunrise to sundown.
Well, this film was completed. It was done, and then I read that it had been screened a few times but never officially released. What happened there?
Well, he never went to film school. He was trying to be a big film producer, and that was the first time he never got it. Get this coat off. I'm burning. Got to take my winter coat off because it's not cold anymore. It's hot in the late afternoon, about 4 o'clock down here. Now, got my J.C. Penney coat off. It's got the Milky Way on the back of it.
Keeping it spacey. I like it.
I'm a big NASA fan, big astronaut. I met several astronauts, talked to them. I took a trip on the Gemini spaceship on the largest stardom album. Mm-hmm. I recorded. I took a trip on a space shuttle. Do you know that? I recorded.
I know I took a trip on a Gemini spaceship. I love that song. Yeah.
Gemini. It's Gemini.
Gemini, sorry.
Project Gemini from NASA's space program, trying to get everything, all the bugs worked out before they landed on the moon. Mm-hmm. Now, Gemini is named after the constellation in the night sky, Gemini. If you're an astronomer buff, you know it. Mm-hmm. And so that's what's happening there. I met several. Met a guy in Las Vegas once. His name was Mr. McMonagle. Mr. McMonagle. That's an Irish name. That's a hard name to pronounce. I rode my bicycle over to his house. Found out where's that. Because he was stationed at Nellis Air Force Base. One of the largest Air Force bases in the world. That's where the British come over, and they play tag with the U.S. Air Force over there. Nellis Air Force Base. They got the Nellis Sand Dunes over there. Man, oh man. Then they got David Bowie had us come over to England one time when he was over here in New York putting on shows, and his manager came back the next week when we rode there and said he was with David Bowie, and all the girls were screaming like they were screaming at Elvis, you know what? And so I went over Oh, okay. Laugh in. I met Henry Gibson. He loved my poetry, my music. The two of us were in the makeup room at the same time. I met Dan Warren and Dick Martin. Most of those people passed on, but except for Ruth. I think Joanne Worley's still living. And then, oh, you ever heard of the TV channel Classic Comedy?
I have not.
Yeah, well, they show reruns of I Love Lucy, Ed Sullivan, and Get Smart.
Oh, okay, it's like we have the Deja Vu channel here. It's like the same thing. It shows all the old sitcoms and such.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that's a Deja Vu. That's French, kind of like rendezvous.
Yeah, Canada. We can't escape it, you know?
Oh, because of the eastern part of Canada is French.
Yeah.
I'm fitting right in good with them because they found out that I'm French. I'm part French. But I can't get a chance to go to college to learn the French language. I used to work with a guy in the Sarah Hotel. I saw Frank Sinatra. I had readings with Frank Sinatra Jr. when he was leaving the showroom one night, and I was walking back to room service there, and Sarah Hotel, which they tore down after I left. Man, everything's changed. I'm talking about the days, the good old days. Whenever all the other actors on the strip, you can get comps for them from the maitre d'.
Mm-hmm.
That's another French word, maitre d'. And let's see now. I played with Gun Club in Europe. My first time in Europe was Gun Club. You ever heard of them?
Okay, so I've got some questions about that. I'm going to get into that right after we're done talking about movies, because I do definitely want to talk to you, and also Klaus Fluoride of Dead Kennedys. I've got that written out. I'm getting there. I just got one last question about filmmaking. So we talked briefly about that 80s documentary that never got released, the Cotton Pickin' Smash, the story of Legendary Stardust Cowboy. But there was another documentary in the works with Jeff Fierzig.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
Director Jeff.
Now, Jeff,
but I can't. He's got such a screwball name that I cannot pronounce it.
Fair enough. I struggled myself.
I can pronounce Jeff, but I can't pronounce his last name.
Now, he directed The Devil and Daniel Johnson, which is an incredible documentary about Daniel Johnson.
Oh, he went to the Sundance Film Festival. He won, a long time ago, he won an award as Best Movie Director.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's an incredible film. I don't know if you've seen Devil and Daniel Johnson. It's an incredible film.
I don't give a hoot about him. We don't care about him, me and my band.
Fair enough. But now he was...
I don't give two flips and a flop.
Not a flop. He was shooting this he was shooting this documentary, and then COVID struck, and that stopped the production. Now that's what I read. COVID.
No, that's not true. He ran out of money.
Oh, okay.
He spent several $1 million making it in the back room of his office there in L.A. And say, if I gave you his phone number, you could call him, talk to him, and get on the ball.
I would love to do that. Are you kidding me? Because if he does half as good a job with your movie as he did Daniel Johnson's, you're in good hands, my friend. You're in good hands.
Oh, he has nothing but good stuff to say. Now, here again. Okay, here's his phone number. Jeff, how do you pronounce his last name?
I believe it's Fierzig, but I could be wrong. Fierzig?
Feuerzig. Eig?
You got it.
Okay, here's his phone number.
51.
His office is on where he does him and his one employee down there. They do the editing, what have you. Glen Arbor in L.A. L.A.
Oh, not Ann Arbor, Michigan, eh? Ann Arbor, L.A.?
No.
Never even heard of it.
Him and his wife live in the Eagle Rock section of L.A.
Oh.
Do you know what famous characters from Eagle Rock section of L.A.?
Oh, man. A famous character from L.A. I'm a Canadian.
There's only one. There's only one.
Out of Eagle Rock? I'm not sure.
No, her name is Lindsay, and she played Wonder Woman on TV.
Oh, okay, yeah, no. I don't know her.
Lindsay, look. You look it up on your computer. Her last name is Lindsay.
I'll have to do that. I will have to do that.
Oh, you can't do it now?
No, I'm stuck behind a bunch of screens right now. I can't go far.
I screened in.
But I will write that down, and Lindsay, Eagle Rock, California. I got that. But
I think it was Lindsay Wagner. I might be wrong, but she played for several years there. And then she did mattress commercials afterward. No, that was Linda Carter that did that. That other one there. My favorite TV show was of all time was Desperate Housewives.
oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm a desperate cowboy or a desperate, not a desperate housewife, but a desperate L.A. lady.
Fair enough, Ledge. Fair enough.
You can hear the song Desperado in the background.
You know what? I wanted to talk to you a little bit. You brought up Gun Club, and this kind of gets towards that area. In the late 80s, it seems like your career hit a real resurgence musically, and you also started getting the moniker of Pioneer of Psychobilly. I was wondering what you thought about that title and kind of the 80s boom of that punk rock, rockabilly, deemed psychobilly.
That was okay. Yeah, that was okay.
Because I had read that you played with members of the Cramps, Gun Club.
You ever heard of Mademoiselle magazine?
Mademoiselle magazine, I've not.
Well, it's out of print right now, but during 1985,
yep,
they had a record review on one page of Mademoiselle magazine. I was thumbing through it one day, an issue one day in 1985, and they reviewed the Rocket to Stardom album by the Legendary Stardust Cowboy, and they said this could be the wildest record of the 1980s.
What do you
say?
I mean, a great record, and especially after you had only put out singles before that, right? That was the first real full album.
Yeah.
And there's a healthy amount of time between 68 and 85 there. But
84.
So, in the meantime, what did you think of bands like the Cramps, for example?
Oh, I didn't know that they were fans of mine until they came. They were big fans of mine. I wrote them a letter to their address back in L.A. They never returned the answer my letter. Now the Cramps. Now the guy, the singer for the Cramps, he passed away.
Lux Interior.
64. He was 64.
Yep.
They were from. The Cramps was from Sacramento.
Yep.
Which is about 85 miles northwest of here.
Yeah, they had a huge New York identification about them because that's really where they got big. But yeah, Sacramento is where they met and started. Absolutely, for sure.
Well, I came when I was working at the Dunes Hotel. I came up with, as a room service waiter, I came up with this slogan. I ran up the ramp and gave a stamp to a cramp.
Hey, you know what? I don't think they would argue any. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, but now because in the 60s, I don't know. I don't want to say outsider music is something that's been attributed to you, but in the 80s, it seemed like you were finding a place in kind of these punk shows, punk scenes with these kind of psychobilly bands, if you will. What did you think of that at the time?
Well, it was okay. Let me tell you something else. Klaus Floride and another person here, Tomek, he's from Poland. Poland came over here to this country, was 8 years old, never changed his name, and his name I cannot pronounce. He just left it as is. He plays bass in bands that gone to Europe several times. Now he works for a computer company up here in the city of Santa Clara, California. But anyway, he said that him and Klaus Floride were trying to give me Jimmy Kimmel, the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Yep.
And I never have been able. Then the pandemic hit, and we still me and director Jeff still recorded at a motel up in the Four Winds Motel up in Sunnyvale. Then we went over to another hotel. It's a big chain hotel, fancy hotel up there. I can't remember the name of the town. It's headquarters for Hewlett Packard. Palo Alto, that's it, Palo Alto.
Okay, yeah.
California. You ever heard of that?
I have. Palo Alto, yeah.
That's where we recorded right on through the pandemic and what have you.
Yep.
Kept looking for more investors. They did Daniel Johnson movie for $1 million. But he wanted to up the ante and make it even better than Daniel Johnson's movie, and so on and so forth, and but he ran out of money, and he did for the last 2 years. He did a video of not Bad Bunny. It's what was that? The drummer was in New England, part of the United States. He had a wreck, ran off the road in his pickup truck, and lost one of his arms. He plays the drums with Def Leppard.
Def Leppard, yeah.
He said he's hoping that his documentary of Def Leppard will go over so big that investors will come to him with money to spend on some other project that he was working on, and he'll be able to finish my documentary and get it out. Daniel Johnston was fortunate in one way. He got a chance to go to Qatar, which is now bombed over by Iran. They had a skyscraper over there. That is the most pro-Western Middle Eastern country there is in the world. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
Oh, it's so small because of the big oil money. And they build skyscrapers 135 stories tall. It goes above the clouds. I wanted to see that. I've been up the World Trade Center before Islamic jihadists flew into those two buildings, 120 stories, something like that.
Yeah.
Me and Jim, you take one elevator up halfway, you get off, you jump on another elevator, takes you up the rest of the way, up to the 110th floor. And we were walking around out there, me and Jim Yanaway were. I asked Jim Yanaway, what's the name of that big lake over there to the right? Now, that's the first time I've been on the East Coast. I was looking around. He said, that's the Atlantic Ocean. It's no lake. Atlantic Ocean.
Wow, so...
You get it?
Yeah, no, see, I grew up in Ontario. I'm on the Vancouver side of Canada now, but I grew up in Ontario, so I'm definitely more akin to the East Coast. I didn't know that you didn't spend much time over there. I didn't know that...
No, just 5 nights only.
Wow, I'm surprised by that. I definitely thought you, because you've toured internationally.
Yeah, but Australia's the best. The best place I've ever been. Man, if I had the money, I would move there. Move as far away as Washington, D.C. as I can get. Away from Nancy Pelosi and all that other bunch.
Hey, Australia is on my bucket list. That is somewhere I want to get to. And
did you know? Let me tell you something.
Tell me.
Facts about Australia. The continent, Australia is a continent. It's not an island. Greenland is an island. It's large.
Yep.
And that, now there's not many people live there because it's so cold. Now then, but you take Australia, which is way down south, there's a big globe of the world at a Rand McNally store on Post Street in San Francisco. I couldn't see Australia. I had to get down on my back and crawl under the globe that was rotating slowly with the tilted on its Earth tilted on its axis 24 degrees, and I found Australia down under the globe. That's why they call it down under.
Down under, yep.
It's as big as the continental United States, with 20 million people, and the Aborigines have been living there for 4,000 years.
Yep.
And Ayers Rock, A-Y-R-E-S, Ayers Rock, is one solid rock that is the largest one rock that's in one piece in the whole world. The circumference is 1 mile around. It's right there. They got a Sheraton Hotel out there. The lifestyle of the rich and famous that was narrated by Robert Leach from England. I taped a lot of his shows. Did you ever hear that show?
Which show was that, sorry?
The Lifestyles of Rich and Famous.
Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous. I have heard of it. I don't think I've watched it, but I do know what you're talking about.
You don't know what you're missing. They came to Las Vegas and interviewed two gay guys from Germany. They had a big ranch out there with their tigers and tigers and their lions, where they would train them out there for big shows at the Mirage Hotel.
Siegfried and Roy?
No. Siegfried and Roy, that's it.
There you go, yep.
That's it. Boy, tickets were $100 a piece to get in there, because they had to charge them because they fed their animals healthy food. They found Robin Leach went over there and interviewed them for about a half an hour. It was on one Sunday night. The Lifestyles of Rich and Famous, just outside of Las Vegas. Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah.
Oh boy, the Siegfried and Roy. They got to start at the Stardust Hotel when I moved there. Then they went on to the Tropicana, and they got bigger and bigger, and they moved over to the signed a long-term contract with the Mirage Hotel as with the Mirage, and because they were a big draw. People were standing in line. And they had another place outside called Pirates Island, with buccaneers and pirates and what have you. Well, that's another side attraction. But that was owned by Steve Wynn. Steve Wynn is worth $5 billion. When they sold that, they closed that down after 30 years. I never got a chance to go there. I had a friend of mine that was a cocktail waitress in the Mirage Hotel, and well, we're getting off the subject. I saw a goalie hug person, everybody else on the laughing show there, and Liberace was there. I saw him tape his section of the laughing show, and then he stuck around and saw me film my show, and he told my drummer was dressed up like an Indian. We went over to Mr. Moody's country and western clothing store in North Hollywood on Lankerson Boulevard, and Mr. Moody's, it's on his CDL, California driver's license.
Yeah.
And when he was on the Merle Griffin show, and he passed away. When I went up there again to the show, catch his store, I met his wife. She's selling the last pieces of his outfits. He made that gold lame suit that Elvis had on his record album. Said 6 million fans can't be wrong.
Oh yeah.
And even had a statue of Elvis out on the front sidewalk he put every day, wearing a gold lame suit that he made for Elvis. I even saw little Jimmy Dickens from the Grand Ole Opry. Remember, he had that song, "Made the Bird of Paradise Fly Up Your Nose." Well, I changed around, made the Bird of Paradise shinny up your nose. And I had Stardust Cowboy. I had a white shirt on, said Stardust Cowboy, and I had an angle. It was sewed in red thread, script form. Then I had gold stars sewed all around it. I was wearing that. He kept looking at me and walking back to see my shirt for a long time. I talked with Mr. Moody about making some cowboy boots for me. It didn't go anywhere, but so my $1,500 boots are waiting on me down at Everett's boot store, about 6 blocks down the street. It's got Flying Eagle on the front and back. Oh, mule ears that attach to the straps where you pull the boots up, and foam inside the soles so it'll be nice and comfy. You ever heard of those kind of boots?
I have heard tell, yeah. I've never been a cowboy boots guy. Too much snow up here. Not really good traction on cowboy boots. They look great, but no grip.
Well, on the sole, you don't put the leather, because leather wears out quickly. You put rubber, you put neoprene rubber on the bottom of the boot called sole, and it lasts a whole lot longer, maybe 2 or 3 years longer than leather. So that would probably get a good grip in the snow. Traction.
Because, I know I've seen the chains around the boots out here, just like a tire back in the day.
Like a tire?
Yeah, when you used to wrap, and before winter tires, all-season tires, you had that chain wrap that you'd put around a tire in the winter.
Oh, they got that in Nashville.
Yeah, see, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, I've been there. I've been to Nashville one time only, and I call it Shitville.
Only once? I would have thought Nashville would have been your stomping grounds back in the day.
No. T-Bone Burnett is up there now. What am I trying to say? Nashville.
All right, what's the good, what's the bad in Nashville? Because everybody knows Nashville as the cornerstone of country music and old, rockabilly, rock and roll, if you will. So when did that die?
Ever since 1925, WSM radio station up there, the Grand Ole Opry. It's over 100 years old. They had Conway Twitty, Loretta Lynn, Charlie Pride, the talk of country music, They had Hank Snow, Dwight Yoakam, what have you, and after what's that name? What's that name? Hank Williams, Hank Lachlan. Well, they had a bunch of Hanks up there.
On the topic of Hank Williams.
Hank Williams Jr. I saw in person back in Lubbock. But they went from country to pure pop music. I don't like any of this modern pop music in Nashville.
Yeah, well, country has gone real poppy. If you look at the new country stars, you know, I know you brought up Taylor Swift earlier, but there's also names like Luke Bryan and such, and the new age country is pop.
Now there is one named Morgan Wallen.
Oh.
And I'm trying to get back to Lubbock to find out if my cousin's name is spelled the same, last name is spelled the same as Morgan Wallen's last name. If he is, have the same spelling, my second cousin in Lubbock might be related to him. I have to get a hold of pay a genealogist to run a check. And my grandmother's maiden name, she's dead, gone now since 1969, and her last name was Holly. People was asking me for years was I related to Buddy Holly. I said, I don't think so, don't know. Now there's two spellings of Holly in the phone book. Now, if I get a genealogist, he can run that up, find out if I am related to Buddy Holly. If I am, I can capitalize on that. You know it?
Absolutely. You know what? Why not? But hey, you know what? We're talking about a lot of big stars of the 50s and 60s. I want to get back to the 80s and your induction into the punk rock scene, if we can, for a minute.
There was one magazine called me the father of new wave music.
Mm-hmm. No, but
did you read that?
I've read plenty of that, and I wondered how you felt about that, because when you put out Paralyzed, you weren't setting out to be punk rock, you weren't setting out to be psychobilly, you weren't setting it.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
Wait a minute. I came with the Legendary Stardust Cowboy and Paralyzed, and Who's Knocking on My Door, which was Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
By the way, that's not on the record. I do that in live shows. We did a live show at the makeout room in San Francisco last Thursday night.
I saw that. Was that March 5th? March 5th?
Yeah, did you hear about it?
Oh, yes, I did. I saw it because I looked into it because I'd known you were in the hospital for a little while, and I was hoping that you had made a good recovery, and beautiful show. You looked great.
Had a stroke 6.5 years ago. But anyways, I went up there and so I went. Oh wait a minute. I lost my train of thought. I don't like San Francisco one bit. It's too cold up there. Too many people.
Fair enough,
you get
man.
that cold wind coming off the ocean all the time. It's a peninsula. You got the San Francisco Bay on one side, the Pacific Ocean on the other side.
I got to take your word for it. But I
walked down the Golden Gate Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 1.5 miles long. On Memorial Day, I was wearing a winter coat. I didn't have any ear muffs, and my ears like to froze to death because that's at almost ground level with the Pacific Ocean coming out of the Gulf of Alaska.
For sure. Yep. No.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, as we were talking about the whole pioneer of psychobilly and stuff. Now, two other people around your time period that were active and get ranked in that, maybe a little before, Hassel Adkins and Screamin' Jay Hawkins. Have you had any personal interaction with either of them?
Well, I've talked with Hassel Adkins' manager. He was scheduled to go with me and Jim Yenaway on the second tour to Europe in October 1985. Something came, his manager said, yes, something else came up that he had to do first, and I never got a chance to meet him. What was that other person's name you mentioned?
I was talking about Screamin' Jay Hawkins, but for a second, what you just said there was you and Hassel Atkins were supposed to tour Europe together in '85?
No, not Screamin' Jay Hawkins.
Hassel Atkins.
No, Hassel Atkins, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but that never materialized.
Oh, man.
Jay Hawkins, Keith Glass, who on Chain Link Records in Australia, tried to get a friend of his that owned a Rolls Royce, trying to get him to drive me and Screamin' Jay Hawkins out onto a big football field with us screaming and hollering, but the owner of the Rolls Royce didn't go for it, didn't want his Rolls Royce all messed up with that kind of stuff. Hillbilly teenage stuff, you know it?
Oh, well, Keith Glass, Australia, he worked with Nick Cave back in the day.
Nick Cave was a fan.
Now, I do know, and I wanted to get into this because I had read you've had backing band members of the Cramps, Gun Club, and Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds play with you before. I read that.
No, not Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Oh.
The bass player was from the band Beast Suburban.
And who is that?
I don't remember. Now, the guitarist was a Greek. He was full-blooded Greek. I can't pronounce his name. He lived in the Greek section of Melbourne, Australia. I found out during World War II, there was a large number of Greeks left Europe, and a large number of Italians left Europe when Mussolini was teamed up with Hitler, and they settled down in Melbourne, Australia, which made that section of Australia very, very big. When I was over there, the only black not African Americans, but black-skinned people that I saw were Aborigines. Not many of them. It was almost just solid Caucasian people over there, because Australia is very particular about people that they let in their country. Mm-hmm. They did let Freddie Fender in, a Mexican, because he was, New Zealand would not let him in because of his conviction of marijuana and spending 3 years in jail. They would not let him in New Zealand to entertain. Freddie Fender. Wasted days and wasted nights.
Okay.
He's from Texas, too. He's from a small town down around Brownsville, Texas, far southern tip, where Elon Musk has got his rocket launch pad for his rockets to Mars and the moon.
You know, that's something I wanted to talk to you about, too, actually. Okay, so you brought that up, Elon Musk and the launch pad, because I know you're a fan of NASA, you're a fan of going to space and that work. What do you think of this? Because you knew Jim Irwin, right?
I met Colonel Jim Irwin and his wife.
Yep.
They were together.
So you...
Las Vegas, made a speech. When I read about him in the local newspaper, local journal, there was an E.K. Irwin that my parents knew, that I knew, so I brought it up to him, because this Jim Irwin was from Pennsylvania, and E.K. Irwin said he never met his relative, Jim Irwin, because he knew that there had relatives back in Pennsylvania, but he was just from Texas. He worked at Reese Air Force Base, repairing walkie-talkies and stuff like that for the airmen at Reese Air Force Base. He was not in the Air Force. He was working for the federal government. I can't remember what it was. And then Jim, so I met him. I told Jim Owen about it. He walked on the moon. Do you know he was the first person to drive a moon car? a car around the moon, but the wheels are made out of wire, very lightweight.
Okay, I did not know that, but I knew of your association with Jim Irwin, and I wanted...
Now listen
Okay.
listen to this.
I'm
Get
listening.
this. When they had the dedication of the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, about 3 weeks before it really opened for business, they had on display that supersonic flyer that blew up over France. What was that supersonic flyer?
That blew up over France. Oh, I have no idea. That's out of my wheelhouse, Mr. Cowboy. That's out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah. Sotomayor, she's a Supreme Court justice. Yeah. Now let's. So anyway, let's see now.
Well, why I brought up Jim Irwin is because I was thinking
And they had a display
Yep.
of the actual size of the moon car that he drove on the moon, of the dedication of the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. So I got to see it really up close. And, after that was before I moved to Las Vegas and met him, and I didn't tell him about that.
Oh.
But that was on the outside of the Apollo spacecraft, of the lander.
Mm-hmm.
Lander of the spacecraft. So when they got out of when the first two people that landed up there, astronauts landed up there, Buzz Aldrin and Buzz's nickname, his real name is Edwin Aldrin. He's about 95 years old. I don't think he's going to die until astronauts first land on Mars, you know it? He's been a very much advocate of going to Mars. And so anyway, they I think they took down on the side of it was either that one or one of those, or the next one, or the third one, the lander landed on Mars, landed on the moon rather, side, they pulled it down from the side and took off the case and put the moon car up there and they released some springs and let go of it and let it spring into place, and it locked into place. Then the batteries were solar powered. You know, they could travel 8 miles in one day on that moon car. That would take a lot longer time to walk. That's the reason why they made it. And the wire mesh easily got around on the dust on the moon. It's called regolith. That dust on the moon is called regolith. Reglith. You ever heard of that, regolith?
I have not heard of that, no.
Well, that's because you haven't studied the space program as much as I have over the decades.
I have.
I started when I was about 5 or 6 years old. I said someday man is going to go to the moon. That's before astronauts came around. And I got a letter from John Glenn. I wrote him a letter one time and said, why don't NASA rename the moon after you? And that's when he came back from his place in orbit. He wrote a letter to me back, said it will never be named after me. It will always be known as the moon. And he signed it and dated it with his own hand. And I put it into a glass frame. My daddy said someday that's going to be worth a lot of money. Now I saw some other astronauts. I have to go down through the list. Got a list of them.
I know that you follow this closely. That's why and it's not my area of expertise. You know way more than me, so I really only had 2 questions for you that are about space. And I was wondering, now seems like a good time to knock them out. You knowing people like Jim Irwin, meeting real astronauts who were respected as astronauts. It was a major accomplishment to become an astronaut at one point in time. Now, what do you think about this becoming a vacation spot for the rich? You've seen, you brought up Elon Musk. He wants to go to space, billionaires to tour around. Katy Perry, the pop star, just went to space recently. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't want to go up in that New Glen rocket because that's only 15 minutes up there. Not long enough to see anything. You can see the curvature of the Earth and float around for a few minutes, and that's it. I'd like to go to the space station, spend 6 months up there. Now before you go up there, you got to pay NASA $85,000 to train you, weightlessness and what have you.
Yep.
That's just preliminary stuff, but I don't have the money for that. You might get a GoToFundMe page to get that started.
You know what? You want to talk about this director friend of yours? That is what should be seen. Legendary Stardust Cowboy goes to space.
Let me tell you something. Did you ever see Apollo 13, the movie with Tom Hanks?
Yep.
They went out here to NASA Ames Research Center, and they flew up in an airplane that goes way up in the sky, and it comes like a parabolic arc, and comes back down rapidly. Well, for about 30 minutes, they're weightless. Him and Hank Rosenthal were talking about spending $50,000 for me to go up there and do that, where they could film me suspended and floating in outer space like an astronaut. But I said $50,000 is a waste of money. So we never did do it.
Oh, that... You want to talk...
I needed the money worse than him so I could get my car paid off.
You want to talk legendary. It doesn't get much more legendary than that.
Well, no entertainer's ever done that, to the best of my knowledge.
Well, and you know what? That brings up the second question. Now, how old were you when the moon landing was aired? When that took place?
I was 21 years old. July the 20th, 1969. I was 20. In the following September, I turned 22.
All right.
I met Tiny Tim. At the Bronco Bowling Alley in Dallas once. I was a big Tiny Tim fan. I went to KLIF Radio in Dallas. I missed him there. Topper, his limousine driver, Topper, wished him out of there after the interview for the station. I missed him by a few minutes. Then after the Rock to Stardom album came out, I met Joe Ely was there. His backup band played for me, singing, what was that Frank Sinatra song? Fly Me to the Moon. It's on the album. You know it? And
I thought it was Bobby Darin, Fly Me to the Moon, but that might be Beyond the Sea that I'm thinking of.
Nope, not Bobby Darin, no.
All right.
It was published. Fly Me to the Moon was published by Almanac Publishing Incorporated. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
There was a black, African-American black, heavyset African-American singer that conducted the orchestra that backed Frank Sinatra up. Frank Sinatra up. Fly Me to the Moon.
But why I was asking about how old you were when the first moon landing played. Now, it's been a long time since then. You had plenty of time to look back and think about it. What do you, Mr. Legendary Stardust Cowboy, think about the conspiracy that the moon landing was shot by Stanley Kubrick and it was all faked?
Oh, that's a bunch of crap.
Yeah?
Capital RACP, crap. My stepfather and I got into an argument about that. He did not believe that astronauts landed on the moon. And he said the moon was just up there in place for the sun to shine off the moon to give us moonlighting down here on Earth, so we could go rapid hunting after dark. Stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. No, I just, I've heard, and especially as time goes on, there's more and more of a case about that. People talk about hints in the movie The Shining that link towards Stanley Kubrick being the one that shot the moon landing. I was just curious what your thoughts were on that. Yeah.
Well, I never saw that movie, and I just didn't see any. Oh, 2001: A Space Odyssey I liked.
Yep.
Stanley Kubrick do that?
Yep, that is Kubrick.
That's the only one of his movies I saw.
Clockwork Orange, Spartacus.
No, none of those.
Oh,
None of those.
Fair enough.
No, Captain Kirk I'm interested in. Babylon 5.
Yep.
Babylon 5.
Going back to, because that was pretty much it for my space quiz. Going back to the topic of punk rock and you being kind of taken into this scene in the 80s, when was the first time you had heard of the term punk rock?
I guess that was back in the 70s. I would say, there goes the skunk. He listens to punk. Now he's not rocking anymore because he stinks.
All right, because I'm curious because I feel like a lot of people who were in the music thing in the 70s, it was very much so either an American or an English thing. Like when punk rock took off, it was either your team Ramones or your team Sex Pistols,
Oh, I like Mojo Nixon.
That's very, very blues. But what did you hear of first in the 70s attributed to punk rock? Was it English or American?
I didn't listen to any of it. I was listening to Hank Williams Jr., Hank Williams Sr. I got the long blues.
Were you a fan of Hank the Third at all?
Hank the Third, I never heard.
Oh, you know what? You should look into Hank the Third because he blends. He's like Hank Jr.'s son, obviously. Hank the Third, very punk rock, very rockabilly, very country, sometimes even metal.
Well, they say that Joan Jett is related to Hank Williams.
Do they? I never heard that.
I've heard it.
All right. Off the topic of interstellar travel, now here's one I've always been curious about. What are your thoughts on LSD?
I came with my own expression. You know, LSC, LSC, Legendary Stardust Cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
LSC, not LSD.
I'd always heard that, Legendary Stardust, that LSD Cowboy. And then I read that you had made it clear, like I came up with that before, acid hit the streets and was the big to-do of the 60s. But
well, LSD was discovered by a doctor in the 1935.
Albert Hoffman. Oh yeah, I know.
But I never tried any of it. They asked me, "Are you on drugs after seeing Paralyzed?" Well, other people are very much relaxed after hearing me scream and yell on Paralyzed.
So it was never a thing for you, eh? LSD was never on your radar?
No. That's not up my alley. You know what was up my alley?
What?
Long Tall Sally.
Long Tall Sally?
Well, Sally runs to the alley. I'm a poet.
Hey, she got everything that Uncle John needs.
Well, I don't know. Well, my rich Uncle John, his name was Lavakey. John Lavakey. I don't know what nationality that was. He was married to my mother's older sister. Oh, that's right. My sister, she gave me a blister.
Meester, how much for your sister? That's the one I know.
Well, I got a sister I do, with a cornball Texas accent. Like it sounds like a cornball farting in a whirlwind. Well, it's almost 5 o'clock Pacific time.
It is.
Are you on Pacific?
I am, yep. At Vancouver Island, we're Pacific time. I got 3 questions here for you, Ledge.
How long have we been on?
Oh, and coming up on 2.
2 hours?
Coming up on that, sir.
Now, what are you going to ask?
All right. I know you're a fan of Western films. I believe you brought up Gene Autry in the past. Now, that's going way back. What do you think of the modern-day Western film situation? And I'll throw 2 at you that are big, successful Western films. Brokeback Mountain, and then Quentin Tarantino's My Hateful Eight. You're familiar?
I never watched Brokeback Mountain. I don't see those gay movies.
Fair enough. What do you think of that being a big modern-day Western in comparison to where Western films were back in the day?
Well, John Wayne was the best. I wear John Wayne t-shirt to Planet Fitness to exercise. Boy, I get questions, people stopping me. There's girls that like my t-shirt. Says John, and old timers older than me at Planet Fitness, they like it. Now John Wayne's the man. Now I saw Glenn Campbell in person, singer Glenn Campbell in person. I went to see True Grit with John Wayne and Glenn Campbell.
Yep.
After the movie was over with, Glenn Campbell came from behind stage and ran up on the stage for about 10 minutes to talk to us and ask questions. He didn't do a concert there. That was in Fort Worth.
Just like a Q&A situation?
Yeah, like I say, Fort Worth. You go to Walmart at Fort Worth.
Hey, now, you've put out music under many a different record companies by this point in life. I know the big ones were Mercury.
Pravda Records, which is not the newspaper in Russia anymore.
But I wanted to ask you about the compilation you put out for Sarah, Raquel, and David through Cherry Red Records. Does that ring a bell? You recall that?
Yeah. Klaus Forward produced that one.
Now,
And
Cherry Red Records, on the topic of outsider music, they deal with all of the Residents stuff. Did you ever cross paths with the Residents at all?
is that a band called Residents?
Oh, yeah, they've been around since the 60s. Super weird music. They wore suits and eyeballs.
Never heard of them.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
I
because,
don't know anything about them.
you know, sometimes these record companies, they have a party and they like to get everybody together, you know, so I didn't know if you crossed paths through there.
No, I've been stuck. My head stuck between cigar and cactus. I can find down in Arizona and around Phoenix.
Fair enough. Yeah, because I think they're San Francisco, and I know you said that's not your bag. No.
I didn't say any. Somebody made that up. That's not true, because I never heard of the old boys.
No, San Francisco, the city, wasn't your bag.
I know it. I know what you're talking about. I don't like San Francisco.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Now, any funny stories from when you came up here to Toronto and played in Ontario back in the day? Do you have any funny stories about playing up here in Canada?
Here's. I played in a restaurant. It was a club, a venue behind a restaurant we had to go through. 4 nights a week, I would do my regular strip, my cowboy strip. I stripped down to my baby blue shorts, and I had my big black cowboy boots on and my spurs made out of I think they're made out of cast iron. They're tough steel, what have you. After did that, then I run out the audience with my battery operated megaphone, telling everybody to come over here and buy some of my single records and what have you. Mm-hmm. That was a highlight of the show. And I guess if you could see it on tape, it'd be funny. See a film strip of it.
Is there a film of that?
I don't know. I don't keep up.
Oh no. Are you fucking kidding me right now? No, fuck off. Oh boy. Oh shit. Alright, one. Oh, I'm sorry to get disconnected from you there, Ledge. We got 2 questions and then we're
I
done.
hit the wrong button on my phone. I was flipping around into my hand like I always do.
It happens to the best of us. So, when you came up to Canada, you said Ontario. Was it Toronto or did you go elsewhere?
Oh, it's Toronto because we went over and saw the. That was in November, a week before Thanksgiving. It was 19 degrees where we landed, and there was a lot of snowfall all there. And went over to the tower that goes way up in the sky, about a mile up in the sky.
CN Tower.
Way down into the what tower?
The CN Tower.
CN. What does that stand for?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Well, CN is probably the abbreviation for Canadian Tower.
Maybe. Something along those lines.
They got one in Sydney, Australia, just like it. They got a rotating restaurant on top.
It's the exact same as Toronto, yep.
I never got a chance to go to that one in Sydney, Australia either, because I went to a biological atrium place. They got a glass atrium. Man,
Oh. All right,
took
now
pictures of that with the camera.
I got
Took pictures everywhere. I took a lot of pictures when I was in Toronto. It's amazing back then. Back there, they got very old buildings mixed in with very, very ultra modern architecture. You know what?
yeah, you know what? It's probably the exact same today in all honesty cuz they never stop building.
Well, they got. I went to a college up there called Victoria College.
Yep.
I think that's name. Oh, they're beholden to the British Empire.
Yep.
Part of the British Empire.
Yeah, we're known as Britain's little cousin, but But all right, I got
Well, I'm getting tired. I gotta go.
all right, last question for you here, Ledge. How's that sound?
Shoot.
All right. In all of your years of extensive touring, what was the absolute worst venue bathroom experience you've had while touring?
Nearly all of them. They were trash. They were all dirty. They weren't cleaned out like the Hilton Hotel. The restrooms in Las Vegas are clean. They keep them super clean to keep the tourists coming back. They vacuum and carpets 24. They have porters vacuum the carpets in the casino, round the clock, shampooing the carpets, especially Caesar's Palace. Frank Sinatra used to get mad and throw tantrum fits in his room. He'd throw spaghetti all over the walls. The hotel, Caesar's Palace, didn't give a hoot. It would cost very little for them to wash up the room whenever he left the walls, and repaint it, fix it up for the next customer, because he brought so much money into the casino. People dropped high-end, elite people coming to see him. dropped a lot of money in the casino after they saw a show and left. I saw Tom Jones in there. I saw Neiman, Leroy Neiman, the artist,
Yep.
sports artist, and Merv Griffin, the host of the show.
Yep, Merv Griffin
He's been
show.
there for 1 week. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you.
I've been out of all sorts. I can't talk anymore.
All good. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it immaculately. I hope all is well in your world. Good health, success, all the good things. He hung up.